Hi, my name is Amalia, welcome to my channel, and welcome to another video for Jane Austen July. Jane Austen July is a month-long readathon hosted by Katie from Books and Things and Marissa from Blatantly Bookish. Katie tagged me to do this video, so I am here to answer the 7 questions of the Jane Austen July Tag. Let's get into the questions. So the first question is, what is your favorite Jane Austen book? Now, I have to admit, I haven't read all of Jane Austen's books, but I have watched many adaptations, both movie and for TV. So I can confidently say that my favorites are Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion. And I think Persuasion is closest to my heart just because I really love the main character. So I'm gonna say Persuasion for this question, even though I think that's not the most popular answer. I've seen a lot of the tags and I think Persuasion was not among the answers for this question. I think most people say Pride and Prejudice for this one. But just for the sake of it, I'm gonna go with Persuasion. Question number 2 is, who is your favorite Jane Austen protagonist? And I kind of gave this answer away already in answering the first question. But I'm gonna go again with Anne Elliot here from Persuasion, because I feel she's overlooked many times, but I feel her character, she's so kind and selfless that I feel like she's my best friend and I would give her big hugs and just tell her to take care of herself and think about herself every once in a while, even though it's nice to be there for others and family and friends. Question number 3, name a book off of your shelves that you think Jane would wholeheartedly approve of and why. Now, this is a hard question to answer, especially because I read a lot of fantasy. And I wouldn't put a fantasy book as an answer to the question here, but I checked my Goodreads read shelves for the past 2 years, I think, and I picked Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I think Jane Austen would approve of this book because it is a portrait of small-town America in which things are shaken up by the arrival of a mother and a daughter, and also by the adoption of an Asian child by an American family. So in this sense, I feel that Jane would approve of this novel because it is a portrait of society and a portrait of the issues society faces or can face today. And I think that is what Jane Austen and her novels are all about. Also, there are some mysteries in this book, like the fire, and also about a mystery about one of the persons coming into the town. I mean, she has a mysterious background. No one knows exactly who she is and what she did. So in a sense, I think it is a bit similar, even though not as dramatic as Northanger Abbey. So yeah, I feel that Jane Austen would approve of Celeste Ng's Little Fires Everywhere. Question number 4, name a book off of your shelves that you think Jane would have hated and why. Now, I don't have these books on my physical shelves, but I have read them. So I have 2 books for this question, and one is The Pieces by Melissa Broder. I think Jane wouldn't have liked this one because of its magical realism, but also because of the humor and because of the main character. Because the main character is so wrapped up in her relationships and the breakup, I think Jane would have shaken her a bit and told her, get on with your life. It's not about men. It's not all about men, I mean. And then similarly, I think Jane would have hated Almost Love by Louise O'Neill in the same way. It's because the main protagonist in Almost Love is absolutely obsessed by this abusive relationship and this man who has abused her. And she cannot, for the life of her, get her life moving and forget about this relationship. And she's destroying everything good in her life because of it. So Jane Austen's heroines are all, their life revolves a bit around men, but but not in the same way. I mean, they have their own personality and they have their own wants and needs, and they just don't seem to break completely because of a man. Even in Anne Elliot's case, I mean, yes, her heart was broken, but she didn't become obsessed. Her life went on, and quietly and reservedly, she just, I guess she just suffered in silence, but she wasn't completely destroyed mentally by her decision or by her being persuaded to end things with Captain Wentworth. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with these two answers. Question number 5. Who is your favorite minor Jane Austen character? For this one, I mean, there are so many characters and so many great characters in Jane Austen's books. But for this one, I'm going to go with Charlotte Lucas from Pride and Prejudice. Because, yes, she's Elizabeth's best friend. She's educated and a sensible, really nice young woman. And she understands that for her, in her current situation, it's hard to make a good match, a love match, that is. So in her marrying Mr. Collins, sorry for the spoilers again, but I assume everyone here kind of knows all these books or have seen an adaptation. So anyway, in her marrying Mr. Collins, she goes into this match fully acknowledging the faults of Mr. Collins. And I think by marrying Mr. Collins, she gets the best out of life and she's really content with her choice. So the last question in this tag, question number 7, which Jane Austen character do you simply love to hate? And for this, I'm gonna go with a quite obvious one, I think. Everyone loves to hate Mr. Collins from Pride and Prejudice. He is so oblivious and ignorant of his cringiness that every time I read about him or every time he opens his mouth, I get secondhand embarrassment. It's just like, oh my God, there he comes again. What is he gonna say? Yeah, and that was the last question for this tag. I think it's quite funny how for all the minor characters, I chose characters from Pride and Prejudice. But again, I think, yeah, as I said, this is one of my favorite novels. But I think Jane Austen really does great things with minor characters in this one. They really stand out. So that's it from me today. Thank you, Katie, for tagging me in this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.